Hey everyone, welcome to Portwork Investments. We're here today to talk about how I started investing, and if you're already here, you're already thinking of ways to grow and how you can become financially free. Well, this is how it worked for me. So it works for everyone differently, but we all have to keep thinking of ways to make it work. Sometimes it's not gonna work. Sometimes it's really not gonna work, and sometimes it's just gonna suck. But somewhere down the line, you're gonna find a way, and you're gonna find what works for you. There's no one that I can say out of the top of my head that became financially free without failing at other businesses. Obviously, unless you win the lotto or stuff like that. But in the real world, real entrepreneurs and real hustlers that are out there trying to become financially free struggle in the beginning because no one's gonna tell you how to go about it, or what route to take. So I can tell you, not so that it's not a long video, my first very wrong investment was a tractor. So I was born in El Salvador. My father inherited some land, and I was out there in 2009, and my father has some land out there, so I thought, why not invest in some agricultural stuff. So I went and bought a tractor. Right? And I started, preparing the land, and I started, growing corn and, everything, but, not knowing anything about agriculture. Obviously, it wasn't such a right and wise investment. So my first investment will cost me $10K. So I invested $10,000, and I lost that within the first 2 months. Those 10,000 were out the window. It's okay. I don't look back. I pushed forward, came back home, and then I started thinking, other ways. So obviously, I had to get a job again, and start thinking about, saving money, and how I was gonna do the next step, whatever it was going to be. I don't know at that time. So I would think I would go everywhere. I would think about everything. I'd go to the 99-cent store, and I think, how much does it cost to run one? I'd go to Subway. I go to the gas station. I look at a laundromat, cars, and every now and then I would buy a car, and then I would flip and make a little bit of profit on it. So I've always, done the little hustle thing, where I bought, like, let's say, some used tires for my car because I knew that they were a great deal, but then I changed my mind and I resold them and profited off those. So little things like those is what you profit off of. So I ended up thinking of a tow truck. So I went and I invested in a tow truck. I had to, not knowing, because no one's gonna tell you how to do it, I had to get a DBA. Oh, so I had to get an LLC, then I had to get a DBA, then I had to get city permits, dot number, insurance, which is actually what I never even considered going into business. That's why I failed. It's actually a really good, profitable business if you have the overhead to cover it. Well, I started with a tow truck. That's my number 2 investment. Tow truck, and I paid $20,000 for the tow truck, and about $5K to $3K of permits. That's all permits that I didn't even think of and I didn't even consider. Reason why this failed was because insurance for the tow truck was about $1,000 a month. So if you really think about it, I still had a job, so I was only going to be able to tow vehicles for part-time, not full-time. And again, I didn't even have any vehicles to tow to start with. So obviously I was already 20,000 in the hole, plus the extra 3,000 to 5,000 that I did not think of. And those 3,000 or 5,000, like I mentioned, went into opening up an LLC, permits, and whatnots. So that was about $25,000, which at the end I sold the truck. I took a loss. I sold it for $17,000, and kept the LLC. So it was only down 3 G's, right? So it's okay. We'll roll with the punches. Kept working, kept saving. So I figured I'll recoup those $3,000 on my savings from my work. All right, so that didn't work. My third one was a food truck, right? Or a food trailer. Something that you pull with my truck. I had a truck and I would tow it with my truck. That cost me, I think it was $14,000. We're in Southern California. I drove all the way to Sacramento to get this food trailer, concessional food trailer, brought it down, and same thing. I did not consider that in order to have all full permits, I had to go to the city and I had to present a business plan, which at that point is when I found out that I needed a business plan and I didn't even know how to go about it. Then I had to present my menu. Then, I had to present pictures, recipes, and we were just doing, a little taco stand, we didn't think that we needed all of that. So obviously I had already spent $14,000, so I only had $3,000 left, and an LLC that I had to make quarterly tax payments on. So that was taking a little chunk of my savings every 3 to 4 months, because I had to pay my LLC in order for it to stay open. All right, so plus whatever I had to invest in everything, I actually ended up not getting any permits and running the food trailer for a little bit until my wife got pregnant of my third baby, which we're happy to have. Then, since I sold this, I actually sold it for $17K, right? So I went and I recouped what I lost on my tow truck, right? So you can't be scared to lose some money. It's okay. You gotta roll with the punches. You're gonna lose some, you're gonna gain some, but you gotta keep hustling. Obviously, I didn't do this 1 month, then the next month, and the next month. This took, a few years. Then, so I sold it for $17K. And like I said, a few minutes back, I used to sell some cars, I've always liked vehicles. So I told my brother, hey, you know what? Let's partner up, get a car dealer license, and let's flip some cars legally. Okay, cool. We went about it. We went and got a dealer license. We already had an LLC, and that made it easier for us. We just closed the tow truck DBA and opened up a DBA for the car dealer. So my fourth one was car dealer. I think that's how it's spelled. Dealer. I hope it is. Anyways, so I went and got a car dealer license, my brother and I, and we got a little office. It was like a 6x10 little office, but it had a door and it had our dealer name and whatever. It worked, but no one told me, that cars don't sell like burgers. So I would have 4 or 5 vehicles at a time, where I had to store 3 of them in my driveway and the other 2 in my office. And these cars weren't selling, so I had to lower the price on them and struggle at the same time. I had my money invested in about 3 to 5 vehicles, and I'm paying quarterly taxes on vehicles that I'm not selling. So you see how everything starts not really working. Obviously, I would sell a car or 2 or 3, and I would profit off of almost every vehicle that I sold. I profited off of. It's just that it wasn't as consistent, and for my business to start growing, this was actually growing already. But for my business to start growing, I needed to invest a little more of my capital or get loans, and I wasn't about to start getting into debt. All right, so all of this I've done it with my own money. You got to think about it. You got to save a little bit of money and then start, finding ways to grow it. Once you find a little gigs, and you get to at least 10 or 20 G's, you can start playing and get the feel of it, right? So I got all these, and I kept looking everywhere and thinking, talking to people and everyone that I would hear that was such a great, successful entrepreneur, owned land, properties. And that's when I got thinking, well, my dad owns 2 houses and he's very comfortable. And, everybody else that I know that owns a property is very, very comfortable. So I started thinking, okay, cool, why not? And that's where it got me to my last and very successful shot at being an entrepreneur. This is rehab properties. Rehab properties. Properties. I might just be properties, or it might just be properties, right? Anyways, long story short, I started looking at properties, real estate. And it comes to be that real estate is anti-depression, it's anti-pandemic, that's for sure. So it's anti-everything. If you really look at it, it's a win-win-win and then some win situation, because you're gonna profit off of your property. Let's say you buy a property, the first one I bought it for 60, I put 30 in it, it's now worth 140. I ran it for 1100, piece of cake, right? So anyways, not to make it short, not to make it long, this are the ways I got to be where I'm at, financially free. And real estate and rehab properties is what has gotten me where I'm at today. I hope that this helps you guys, get a peace of mind and think that, it's a long way to success. It's not a short way. It's not easy, but it's not impossible. You can start with a little bit of money. You don't have to have millions of hundreds of thousands to start growing. Just don't give up. Open your eyes, look around you, and look at everything financially. I mean, you're already looking at my video because you want to find ways to grow. So just keep looking, keep your eyes open, and just know that, the very first thing you ever try might not work. But don't be scared to fail. You'll learn a lot from it, because the second time you go at it, you'll at least know that, this and this and this way is not the way to go about it. So you're already more ahead than anybody else is that's just thinking of doing it and it's not trying. So when you fail, don't be scared to fail. Just, keep in mind that you need your job. You can't quit your job just because you're trying to be financially free. But know that at least this is what got me where I'm at. All right, there's a lot more to it, but I can't just, have a forever video and you're gonna get bored. Anyways, long story short, this is how I got to where I'm at financially free. If you like my video, I hope you do, and I hope it's a little encouraging. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the notification button so you don't miss any videos. I will be making more videos, and I hope that they help everyone or anyone that I can reach. That's it.